Before we get absolutely shit-faced, I'd like to remind everybody that this podcast contains two very pissed-up gays of their opinions, rants and raves in life, and overall explicit content which we know you love. Everyone and anyone is welcome to this podcast, so strap yourselves in, pour yourself a large one, down it just like us, and pour another, and let's get this going, and let's read between the wines. Well, it's becoming quite the struggle to do this fucking podcast with one hand. However, we're here.
Hello.
We're here. After quite a challenging week, I'd say, with this.
Quite a challenging week.
However, normal service has resumed and I've gone back to being pink.
You have? Yeah, we have...
It lasted all of, 48 hours?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Wasn't that blonde life, that wasn't for me. So,
no. Hey.
So
you did back. It, you went there, you came back.
Yeah, and we're here. So yeah, new week. How has it been?
The week has been pretty rough, but it was a nice end to the week. But we'll come on to that shortly.
It was a nice end to the week. I won't lie. It's been, challenging. Yes, that fly on that on the computer is really pissing me off. It's like he's going to sabotage our podcast.
Hey, we shouldn't be shooing away new listeners.
Yeah, fucking hell. But yeah, it's been a good week. But yeah, shout outs. I'm going to leave that to you this week because I think this is your bag.
Yeah, well, shout outs this week are all around the wedding that we spoke about a few weeks ago. So congratulations, Eleanor and James.
Yes, massive congratulations.
The wedding was everything
fabulous.
And more.
It was fabulous, right?
Had a really good time, so
yes.
Thank you. And they had the misfortune of having me officiate it as well, which was very foolish. But at least we didn't bring the podcast to the wedding like we threatened.
Yeah, it was good though. It was good, and we managed to plug the podcast a little bit, so that's great.
Did, yes.
Anyone else?
So yes, to many other people who were at the wedding as well, we'd like to have a big shout out to Lynn and Francis. Thank you for chatting to us. It was lovely to meet you. You seemed absolutely enthralled by the idea of this podcast. Hopefully the reality is true for you. So thank you very much. We hope you enjoy
absolutely
today.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to shout out Joe and Greg. Thank you. It was so lovely to see you. It's been so long. Again, I hope you managed to work out how to find podcasts. We did give you the QR code, but I'm sure Greg, a man of many means, will locate it for you, Joe. But thank you both. Your words were so kind to us, for the most part. And we just want to say big shout out to you. And finally, but by no means least, I'd like to have a massive shout out for Lex. You were fantastic and it was so nice to see you again after all this time. I'm so happy that you're listening, but I'm also more impressed that your 3 lovely children are listening to it as well.
I mean, God forbid how corrupt they must be if they listen to us two whine on every single fucking day. Or every single week, should I say.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lex, you're wonderful. You have 3 lovely children. Big shout out to Ruby, Benjamin and Sadie. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
And we're looking forward to hearing your corrupt minds in a few years' time. You want to come on this podcast, by all means.
I'm sure your mother would not want it any other way.
Oh, lordy. Anyway, who actually, just keeping on shout outs, who said that shout outs have to be positive? Right?
No, true.
We've never actually done a negative one, but this isn't really negative. It's just a massive shout out to the wine sponsors that approached us and wanted to sponsor us till they read the subject and the context of this podcast and then decided that this was too scandalous for them. So they backed away. So hi, guys. I'm not going to name them because I don't want a fucking lawsuit. No. But anyway.
We'll see you as we drive past the Dole office in our Lamborghinis. Years time.
Good Lord. Anyway, moving on to rants. I do have one this week. I mean, there's fucking loads, but obviously the first one mainly is this fucking splint that I've got to wear. Like, for those of you that follow us on TikTok, you'll see it this week. I don't know if I wore it in last week's one, but you'll see it in this week's one. I've got a massive splint on, still had like post-op, still struggling with the finger, but it's pissing me off, right?
Yeah.
It's pissing me off. So Yes, I'm going to admit as well that this is read between the wines, but we are actually drinking orange juice tonight.
We are going sober.
Scandalous, eh? Scandalous sober episode. But the meds are giving me the high that I need. The pain meds for this fucking finger. Anyway,
Yes.
on to a normal rant. One thing that I saw this week on social media, and it drives me insane, is gay men, it's not straight men do, I don't know if straight men do this, gay men that post pictures of their puppies in between their legs, and they're not posting a picture of their puppy to show their gorgeous little puppy, they're doing it to show their package off. And you know what, 9 times out of 10 it's a little sausage dog, and you know,
an even smaller sausage.
Well, that's exactly it. And I can see your sausage dog. I don't want to see your crotch, and it's even fucking smaller than you make it out to be. You got a tiny little dick. Stop posting these photos where you're pretending to show your dog off, and in theory, you're showing your little mini manhood off. It really fucks me off.
Such a thirst trap.
Fucks me off. Same with girls. I've seen it with girls with their breasts, shall I say. Some people's like work time, and it's like a high angle shot, and really you can just see down their tops, and you know exactly what they're fucking doing. But men, I don't want to see your dick, well, your suggestive dick pics on Instagram. It drives me fucking insane because you ain't got nothing there.
No.
Right?
Keep it to the dogs and leave.
I don't even want to see your fucking dog on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to see it. I don't want to see your dog. I don't want to see your cock. I don't want to see. Maybe I should just unfollow these people, right?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
I'd lose half of our listeners. Keep posting your little dick/dog pictures when you're here for it. Forget everything I just said. Let's get out of the rants. But, I suppose it would be good to talk about the news this week. Hold on, I'm just going to have a sip of my non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah, of course.
One thing that stuck out in my mind this week, and I wanted to talk about it on here, we've got to talk about the Kanye West photos.
Oh, yeah.
Where he got papped in Italy this week, receiving sloppy head from his wife for all of the world to see. You could see his arse, a bare arse out on show, and you could see his girlfriend literally giving him head on the boat in Italy. I mean, come on. In front of everyone as well. They fucking wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what made me laugh about that whole situation though is Kim Kardashian came out and she said that she's deeply embarrassed about Kanye West's sloppy head pics. This is the woman that made a fucking career out of having her vag showed on a sex tape for the world to see. But yet she's deeply embarrassed about Kanye West's antics. Who's the fucking audacity of Kim Kardashian?
Exactly.
I was like, bitch, I saw your fucking vagina years ago, and you're complaining that he's been getting head on a boat in Italy. Well, did you see his wife though? Like the little
head popping up.
Little head popping up with her hands on his fucking legs. Oh, it was funny.
But what wasn't nice? I mean, none of the pictures were particularly nice, but that one where I don't know who was taking those pictures. Obviously, paparazzi on other boats, but you could see his little bomb crack showing through his kind of kimono that he was wearing, couldn't you?
Kanye West in a kimono receiving sloppy head is the main headline of this week. Okay, if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, there's not really much to see and it's not very nice, but head over to Twitter and just write Kanye West boat. Yeah. And you will see the photos and you'll see what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
But the fact that there was boats next to him, they were taking photos of him, it's like he didn't give a shit. Didn't give a shit.
But why would he? He's Kanye.
Yeah, but no one wants to see him getting head on a boat in Italy. Like, not at all. Like, that's disgusting.
I'm sure he'll provide content aplenty for his, if he ever releases any more albums.
I don't know. Kim Kardashian being deeply embarrassed was by far one of the most two-faced and brazen and, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, when you... hypocritical. Hypocritical fucking statement I've ever read.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bitch... You got pounded. You got pounded for the world to see. And if you're getting pounded and got famous out of it and he's doing the same thing, who the fuck are you to judge? Why does she care?
Well, exactly.
They're both riddled with cash anyway, so why do they fucking care? Anyway. But what about... Wow, it was embarrassing, wasn't it?
It was really embarrassing. And I didn't even know he was in Italy, but when you're at that kind of level of fame, like... I mean, I'm sure you want to get your rocks off in some ways, and if that's how you do it, that's how you do it. But come on.
He's just a head case. Anyway, it got me thinking. That week and this week, and you know that is fucking embarrassing for anyone. Yeah. We've spoke about confessions in a previous episode about having to confess things that we weren't necessarily so proud of, or confess things that we've never spoke about. I suppose that does quite tie nicely in with embarrassing stories, but I thought we didn't quite give the embarrassing stories subject a little bit of TLC.
True.
So I thought, given that Kanye's embarrassed himself for the world to see this week, Trump embarrassed himself the week before, we touched on
a regular basis.
Let's talk about embarrassing stories, right?
Okay.
Have you got... Oh, you want to cough? This is unedited. Shall we pause?
No, we're all good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So, yeah, embarrassing stories. I thought...
Oh.
Well, have you got any embarrassing stories, like what happened with Kanye?
I don't think necessarily getting a blowjob out in public. That's unfortunately never happened to me. Maybe one day.
Unfortunately, never happened to you. Oh God, she's into public stuff. She's into public.
But I mean, I have been caught having sex.
Oh, ain't we all though?
Yeah, I don't know. The one time that I really remember, and I've never been caught by my parents.
I mean, I have.
We've shared many of those stories already.
Been caught by my parents many a times. It was like it became a tradition, I think.
But I think on many occasions, various housemates have seen more than they probably guessed. None of them at the wedding, thankfully.
Well, talk just on that subject. I've got to talk about those two gay men that know you, and they came up and was like, "We always wondered. We always wondered."
Story of my life, darling.
Well, in contrast, they never wondered. But it was me. They fucking knew I was a massive raging homo from day. Right? I'm just like taking the piss now with the pink hair, even the pink fucking brace. No, I was caught in a public encounter a few years ago in a park on a bench. Well, it's actually after a family party, and me and my partner was getting a bit frisky, and we decided on the walk home to the house we would stop off at the park. And I sat on the bench and we was doing stuff. And I kind of just got into it a little bit and I closed my eyes like you do. And then I opened them and then it was like a group of people from the fucking party walking straight past.
My goodness.
Now I was so drunk and I don't quite remember who they were, but they were definitely from the party and we've never spoke about it. No one's ever approached me about it, so we've never spoke about it, but I'm pretty sure someone from a family party saw me in an unfortunate oral situation.
Well, let's hope they were as drunk as you were. Maybe that was the thing.
Well, I fucking hope they were drunk, because the last thing I need is my family seeing me receiving, you know. That's something I would never forget. Never ever forget. I don't know why I've been so fucking brazen. Like I thought that was a good idea to do it outside.
I don't know. Sometimes people enjoy that kind of risk element, right? Getting caught.
To be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I did. Now that's harsh. I didn't mean it like that. But what I meant was, we were just a bit drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it was like, yeah, I suppose it was naughty and cheeky to do something outside, but it's all lovely to do something naughty and cheeky and sexy outside, but when your fucking family walk past in the park and are watching you having it done to you, I kind of think it loses the sexiness, you know what I mean? So that was quite an embarrassing... I mean, I've had loads of embarrassing moments. That's just one that particularly fucking stood out. It was really embarrassing. But not all sexual, My ex had an I'm talking of exes, it was the same ex, I'm not going to name any names, but they fucking listen to this podcast, so they know exactly who they are, but let's see if they still listen. We were away, and this person got incredibly drunk, and I'm talking on a scale of, obliterated, and we was going back to the hotel that we were staying at, talking to the hotel reception staff, and all of a sudden I turn around, pissing himself in front of literally in the hotel lobby in front of all of the reception staff. I was fucking mortified. And it weren't even like a wooden floor where it kind of blended in. It was a stone floor where you could see it all. I was like, oh my fucking God, how do we get out of this one? I don't know. But we just didn't say anything, and we went back to the hotel room, and I was absolutely fucking mortified the next day. Mortified the next day. But that was a drunk situation.
I can say I have never pissed myself. Or the other end. And never done any of those kind of things.
I've never ever pissed myself, I don't think.
I mean, discounting very young child, obviously, but...
Last week. Had too many drinks, I just pissed everywhere. Fucking hell.
I don't know. How do you get to that point? Especially as a man, because you can go anywhere. I mean, I know you shouldn't. I'm not condoning public urination, but...
I don't really lose control of my bodily functions when I'm drunk.
No.
Well, that's a lie. Don't lose control of my bodily functions. I do lose control of my bodily functions, but maybe not urine at all.
No.
Like, I don't really piss myself.
No, you've got enough control and decency not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, unless I've done it before and I've never realised, but I don't think I have.
Yeah. Oh, no, you would, because you'd wake up the next morning...
Stinking of piss.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Stinking of piss and shame.
There we go.
Or embarrassment. I don't know, a mixture of the lot. I don't know what that smells like.
All stank.
I think we've all smelt a bit of shame and embarrassment before. Fucking hell. I mean, I still do. Still fucking do. Oh, God, I hate embarrassing stories. Like, when I was thinking about this, like, when the whole Kenya thing came out this week, there was another one that sprung to mind for me. I don't know if I've spoke about this on the pod yet. Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't. I can't remember. Anyway, I was at uni and I obviously had a project to do at uni, right? And I, had to make friends with a new group of people at uni. Yeah. And we exchanged numbers because we had a project to do, which was nice. Never really spoke to these people before. One of them, I grabbed his number because we were doing this project, and I, text them and was like, oh, let's meet up, like, to do the project, blah, 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 as you do. Anyway, one night I had a few drinks with my then partner, and we went to bed and got a little frisky. Phone was on the bed, thought nothing of it. Woke up the next day and I looked at my phone and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did I phone... I'm not going to say his name. In the middle of the night. Turns out I left a 45-minute voice note, or voicemail, should I say, of me having sex with my partner, and I'd never ever met this guy. Well, I met him at uni, but I never spoke to him before. First interaction I ever had with this guy at uni was him listening to me having sex with somebody else. Like that, I was mortified. I didn't want to go to uni after that.
Did he reply?
No, we never spoke about it, and we still speak to this day. And I graduated from uni in 2011. So you're talking 12, 13 years ago. Never speak about it.
Or maybe on the anniversary of that call, you should send him another one.
Fuck off. There's no fucking way.
The reunion.
Old times.
The reunion.
Maybe I might perform better now, of course. No, I'm not leaving anyone a voice note of me pounding or being pounded. Unless people pay me for it. In which case,
there we go.
Maybe that's another podcast.
Maybe
that's like gay erotica. Although if I'm doing it, it's probably not gay erotica. It's probably some really smutty, chavvy
fan fiction.
Yeah, there we go. But oh god, yeah, embarrassing stories are fun though.
Yeah, I don't know. We've all got embarrassing sexual ones. I don't think any of my sexual stories are too out there. Like,
I mean, every sex is embarrassing for you, isn't it?
Well, there we go. But I think what gets me in trouble more is my mouth. Like, and not in a sexual way. I don't know.
What gets you in trouble is your mouth.
Yeah.
Gets me in trouble as well. To be fair.
But yeah, I don't know. I like to think I'm kind of smart to a certain degree. I'll leave that up to the listeners to decide.
This is coming from the person that had a maths degree the other day that couldn't work out a percentage.
It's been a long time. But I don't know. I have a weird... Maybe it's like a naivety. I'm a bit naive sometimes because I kind of... Cause I like to think of it as me being a bit more trusting. I'm quite trusting of what people say. But inevitably, when people tell me things, I will believe them. And then all of a sudden...
I mean, mine in terms of embarrassing stories, mine's usually, getting drunk and behaving like a crazy fucking person. But I do agree to an extent, your mouth does get you in trouble. Particularly... There's a few that that spring to mind. The one about... you did one when we were out once about... Wasn't it a girl's, like 25th birthday or something? And there was a joke made, or we walked in about 30th, and you was like, oops, doing your 30th again? And she was like, I'm not even 26 yet! And she got really upset.
She looked quite mature for...
I don't know. I don't know. She weren't happy about that.
I am never going to see him again.
All the time, I don't know if we spoke about it last week, where you accused the girl of transitioning and she was not trans. She was not trans. Those sort of stories fucking crack me up.
It's just, I don't know, like someone tells you something and, I don't know, in my trusting nature that I have, I think I kind of assume they're telling me a truth, and you can tell if it's a downright lie, but if it's kind of within the realm of reality...
You're probably in a fortunate position that you decide to like men now, because I tell you what, the way you insult fucking women when we're out, you would literally have no luck at all. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's why I turned.
Oh, what, you turned because you had no luck with the ladies? Is that
No. That's not what I was suggesting at all. No.
What's your excuse for no luck with the men, then? Getting your mouth into your mouth.
Well, there we go. You get away with the mouth more with the boys than you do with the girls.
Well, it depends what you're doing with the boys, to be honest. Oh my god, did you actually just like fire a load at the camera? You actually just fired a load at the camera. Is that what you do in bed? I'm not even I can't even reenact that. Oh god. But yeah, those sort of embarrassing stories, like mistaking a woman for being pregnant, or getting her age wrong, or saying to her, like, her and her sister, you and your mum look nice. Things like that. It doesn't really happen to me, but it definitely happens to you. Mine is usually just embarrassing myself, like just being drunk and on the whole quite sometimes belligerent. Yeah. Usually just outrageous.
Yeah. I don't know, I've been at the receiving end of a
maybe embarrassing night.
A comment as well. So I've had my fair share. I think I can give it, I can take it as well.
Good one was when Belle thought you had cancer.
Yeah, that's happened again.
That was embarrassing for her, but she's only a kid, so I don't think she cared. It was more embarrassing for me.
I've also been mistaken for James's dad before.
Who, your friend James?
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. And you're not that older than...
No. He is a bit younger, but to be fair, the same person also mistook his now wife for his mother, which would then inevitably mean me and Eleanor were together, but that clearly...
Sounds like a really weird threesome. Is that why you officiated at the wedding?
Well...
Was it some sort of sex ceremony?
It was, yeah. I did nearly make
some sort of initiation?
I did start thinking about making like a Sting tantric sex joke, but I left that one out.
I don't think they'll be very impressed. We've just compared their lovely, beautiful wedding to like some kind of sex initiation. Well, that sounds good. Oh, look, we need to break for you to cough. Bloody hell. This is unedited now. People are going to listen. See, now you know why it takes all this time to edit this podcast.
I'm cracking myself up.
Oh my god. Shanae quote. Leave her. She was in the last episode, wasn't she? Was she in the last episode?
Yeah, she was in the last episode.
Oh, I forget.
In our cabinet.
Was I off my box on the last episode?
Always.
Anyway. Yes. Oh, you know what? Another one happened to me once. I gave money to what I thought was a homeless person and it wasn't, and they really shouted at me. I gave him £1 coin and he was like, I'm not homeless. I was like, fucking hell. Oh god, I was mortified. I was like, I'm sorry, I thought you were homeless. He was like, I'm not homeless, I'm waiting for my wife, she's in the... This was when Co-op was Summerfield.
Oh god.
I was only a kid, well, about 12. I had £1 coin. I thought I'll give it to him because he looks like he needs one. Nav shouted at me all these years and I still get embarrassed about that. I gave him £1 and I accused him of being homeless and he weren't.
That reminds me of the time, and this was not as a child, this was like a matter of months ago, when I can't remember which supermarket we were in, and I went up to this woman to ask for some help, and it turns out she didn't work there, she worked for another supermarket. She had a rival, but she had her like ask me for help thing on the back, so like...
I get it from that point of view, right?
She burst out laughing like I was some kind of idiot.
Yeah, I get it. That's an easy one to make. That is an easy one to make. But, oh, God, yeah. I suppose that homeless one is the nearest I'll get to your level of putting your foot in it, or your mouth in it, shall I say.
The biggest one for me, and I don't think I'm in touch with many people who work with me at that place, but I just joined the company, and in trying to like make friends and get to know people, I decided to send an email around with a joke but I thought it was quite funny and fine. Like,
Oh, please! Oh, this is where I need wine.
not one of these like circular ones. Like, I actually just wrote it and I was like, oh, it's funny, it's a joke. Unfortunately, I knew one guy's first name but not his surname, and I'd heard this other person's name in a wider context somewhere. I was like, oh, that must be him. No, it turns out that was like the head of the whole company that I sent it to, who didn't sit anywhere near us, never spoken to me in my life. So I can only hope that his like PA intercepted that message. I can't remember what the joke was. Everyone cracked up laughing, not at the joke, but the fact that I'd sent it to him. So yeah, that was quite embarrassing.
Oh my god. We love to put our foot in it. Anyway, enough of us putting our foot in it now.
Okay. You
know what I'm like on this podcast. I love to scour the internet for some really embarrassing stories, and there was a few on Twitter this week. I'm not going to call it X. I refuse to call it X.
Fair enough.
Right? Let's call it Twitter.
The artist formerly known as.
So I found a few this week. A few from Twitter and a few from other realms of the internet, and also, as we don't, not all of our listeners are gay.
No.
So I decided to find some, let's call it balanced stories.
Okay.
Some straight people and some gay people. So let's be inclusive to everyone.
Absolutely.
Or as many people as we can be. If we get it wrong, tell us. And
I promise not to call them trans.
Oh yeah, you can't do that to that girl again. Well, we're probably never going to meet that girl again. But yeah, that was fucking embarrassing. Anyway, I thought it might be funny to have a little read through some of these stories and see if we can either, as always, relate to these or what we think. Are they embarrassing or who knows?
Let's hear them.
So the first one, so some of these are from Twitter. So the first one, so they're not all sexual. Disclaimer, I know everything I always do on this podcast is usually sexual, but they're not all sexual. There's a little mix going on.
Okay.
So the first one, I think this is a straight person. So this is on Twitter, and bearing in mind, in Twitter, you've only got like 140 characters, right? So they're summing these embarrassing stories up in 140 characters. So this one says, when you grab your toddler's blanket out of the dryer to make sure that you check your panties are not stuck to it before your toddler goes into school. I know this now. So this person, all right, that's a bit tame.
Yeah.
If I accidentally sent a pair of dirty panties into my kid's school, would I be embarrassed? Probably not.
Yes.
Probably not. Might get pulled in by the teacher, but I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd say it was a fucking accident. So that one I don't find too bad. I mean, I'm sure I've left my panties many a places. Probably not school, though.
I seem to remember, and this wasn't me, this was a friend of mine who came in one day to work, and as he was walking to his desk, something fell out of the bottom of his trousers, and I think it was a pair of his wife's underwear, which he didn't realise he had in tangled up in his trousers.
Fucking hell.
And they fell out, and obviously ever since then it was like, oh, guess who wears lacy underwear?
Whoa. I would have found him a bit more interesting after that. So this next one says, my wife and I met her friend for a lunch one day. I bent over to give her friend's baby a peck on the cheek. Didn't see that she was breastfeeding until it was too late, and it wasn't the baby I kissed. He went over to kiss the baby and kissed her tit instead. I would have been like, you fucking pervert.
Oh my god.
Imagine that, trying to kiss the baby and ends up sucking on the tit-o at the same time.
I'm guessing it was a female friend to a female, like to a mother.
No, he said the wife and I. So no, and his name is, I'm going to say it because it's on Twitter, his name's Connor, so I won't say his full name.
Oh my god.
But this is from a guy. So he's a guy, and him and his wife, so he kissed the wife's friend's tit while she was nursing the baby. I mean, that's a bit pervy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's accidental.
Well, hopefully it was.
Accidental perv. Right? He didn't mean to kiss her tit, he just kissed it.
Or did he?
Yeah. Maybe that's true.
Maybe, who knows? Connor, if you're listening.
The thing about that one is, though, is like, if she's just had a baby and she's nursing, would you want to kiss that? I suppose some men like it. Yeah. Maybe he likes the idea of being breastfed.
Yeah.
Like that Little Britain sketch.
Oh, yeah. Pity.
I don't know if I'd want to be breastfed as an adult.
No. You do have some kids who get breastfed way into like
when you see those kids that are like 13 and they're clamped to their mother's tit, I'm like, oh my god.
Get a girlfriend.
Just that, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't like tits anymore.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe because I don't like tits anymore. I haven't liked tits for years. Oh, so now we're into a bit more filthy one.
Okay.
So this one says, in the heat of the moment, so I'm assuming this is a straight couple. In the heat of the moment, I was going to say "fuck my pussy" and said "fuck my little cock" instead, and we both died laughing. Why would she say "fuck my little cock" when she's got a pussy?
God, that's a rude kill.
I think she obviously meant her clitoris, right? Fuck my little cock.
Or maybe it was a reference to the man involved.
Yeah, but she said mine.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, true.
We both died laughing. That's just really awkward.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of like the In-Betweeners thing where she's like, I don't know, is it the In-Betweeners? She's like too dirty and he's like, shit on my face, you fucking twat, or something like that. And he she didn't mean it like that. I can't. Fuck my little cock. Not talking about me here, because that's bound to make the edit, isn't it, on TikTok? Fucking hell. Anyway, the next one. Another sexual one.
Okay.
I think we had like 2 seconds of non-sexual ones.
It always comes back.
Doing doggy. Well.
Yeah, now I'm interested.
Now I got your attention. Doing doggy. Doing doggy, I came and made a huge fart at the same time right in his face. He kept going though, so I could finish coming. What a champ. That's taking one for the team, innit? That's taking one for the team.
Wait, hang on. If you're doing doggy, why was his face near...
Well, that's a good point, actually.
I don't quite know the logistics of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why would his face be there?
Yeah.
Unless it farted on his chest, ricocheted up to his mouth. That's why.
Oh, wasn't there that awful story once of someone... I can't remember who... Oh, no.
Maybe the belly created like a little trap, so the fart ricocheted out on his belly, shut up in his face. Then for the rest of the moment, he's like fucking her in.
Like a crosswind. Literally a crosswind.
But he kept going, so they could...
Oh,
I'm assuming this is a straight couple, but I don't know.
Such a trooper. Such a trooper. Oh, disgusting.
Oh, that's hilarious, that one. Okay, I'm assuming that this is now a gay couple, right? But actually, that's just my perception.
Yeah. Okay.
Accidentally shitting a little because the guy I was dating at the time convinced me to have sex while I had a stomach bug. He just thrust really hard and I guess I lost control. I was mortified and left immediately. Now, we spoke about this one before, right? If you have a stomach bug and somebody convinces you to have anal sex, more for you. More for you, because expect the fucking consequences.
Yeah.
Why would you have anal sex if you've got a stomach bug?
Yeah.
That's just literally like letting the floodgates out,
I know,
right?
Yeah. It's also, and obviously this is no longer of any interest to me as well, but people who want to have sex with women on their period.
Oh,
I mean, that's also asking for trouble.
I'm not going to name names. I know a couple of people that have done that. I mean, if they're all right with it, I suppose if the guy's all right with it, then it doesn't really matter, right?
I suppose.
But yeah, I mean,
But
I don't know.
That could be quite dangerous, no?
Why? Isn't period when they're letting out the eggs that have not...
Yeah, but this is the blood. I'm thinking more of the blood.
Listen, we are not educated in this at all, so let's not talk about periods.
Yeah, moving swiftly on.
I'd like to apologise to every female listener then, because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We're extremely sorry. I don't know what period means. I don't have period. Well, I have all the signs and symptoms of a period, but I don't have a period. Maybe the next podcast should be an education on female anatomy and periods, because that's probably where we've gone wrong.
We'll get a real life woman in to educate us.
I'm sorry, I've just heard that this one is a very short and sweet, embarrassing story. Very literally.
Okay.
Here we go. My urologist made me come hard, fucking embarrassed. Oh my god. Imagine coming from a urologist.
Oh.
I'm assuming they just play with you. Again, I don't know what a urologist does, but I'm assuming it's medical.
Yeah, but it could be a man or a woman, I think. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, God.
But the fact that they said, my urologist made me come hard. This bitch was enjoying it, right? This bitch was fucking enjoying it.
Maybe he's on that chemist dating app that we talked about the other week.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what we called it now.
Chemsex, wasn't it?
Chemsex. Maybe he's on Chemsex, yeah. Fucking hell. Okay, next one. Had my girlfriend's little brother walk in while I was coming in his sister's mouth. He waved at me because he didn't realise what was happening at first, and all I could think to do was wave back while coming. Imagine the little brother coming in while you're coming in the sister's mouth, and all you could do is wave back while you're unloading. How embarrassing.
Well done for multitasking, though.
I mean, yeah. Well done for carrying on, because that would have literally been a mood kill for me.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's happened. Fuck me. Imagine that.
Wasn't there, I don't know why that reminds me of an old Harry Enfield sketch where they were a couple and they would always kind of come into a room. Oh, sorry, we're just shagging.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds incredibly British, doesn't it? Oh, fucking hell. Learn to get a lock.
Yes.
Learn to get a lock. Oh, this is Take note, ladies, if you want some tips off this person. So this guy I was seeing was all about squirting, but I can't even come from sex, let alone squirt. But he made it a point of pride to be the first person to make me come by fucking. So eventually one night I just faked it, came off his dick and then just pissed on him. He was happy with himself too. I can't squirt, I'm just going to piss on you.
That's a classic.
Oh, he's obviously not very clued up about that.
I know.
Because how would he not know the difference?
No, exactly.
Even as a gay man, I would know.
I would know the difference too, I think. Like, Jesus.
Oh my God, she couldn't squirt, so just pissed on him anyway. Oh, well done her. I mean, if he was happy with it, then fine.
Great improvisational skills.
He wanted her to squirt, she thought quickly, and she just pissed on him.
Well, he never specified squirting what, so...
But yeah, he just wanted her to squirt, so...
Make sure you read the small print.
Make sure you're clear and set your expectation of what you want.
There we go.
Here's where I went wrong.
Lesson learned.
Next one. I think this is a guy. Nope, it's not. It's a straight couple, but it is a guy. I was having sex with my girlfriend, doggy style, and I pulled out. There was a plastic ring around my cock. She said it was a birth control thingy. I felt like I won a carnival game. Like one of those ring toss things.
Why would it be in her...
Well, I suppose...
arse?
I don't know if... Again, it's not in her arse. I think...
No, this says they're doing anal.
No, he said doggy style. That doesn't have to be anal sex.
Yeah,
God,
okay.
you really went wrong, didn't you, Mr. Straight Man? We're not editing that out.
Sorry, I thought it said anal.
Remember, straight people
Yeah,
can
I
do doggy
know.
style?
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
I'm assuming that's some kind of coil, right? Ladies, help us out here. Two gay people. This is why I'm going to say at this point, we need Jane on. And Jane, I'm just going to shout out Jane.
Yeah.
Jane's going to come on and we are going to talk about how we have said stuff which is an education for her. Jane, this ties very nicely into getting you on to give us an education as well, right? Because we're two clueless boys, two clueless gays, just talking about menstruation, periods, contraception. We haven't got a fucking clue what we're talking about, right? I feel like I won a carnival game. I love that one. That one's fucking good. Oh, this one's quite long. Oh, gays. I lost my virginity to a guy who wasn't circumcised. Not a big deal, but he was a virgin too. A couple of minutes in, he thrusted a little too hard and it forced his foreskin back, ripping it from the base of the head back, and it started bleeding profusely. He ended up having to go to the hospital and getting 5 or 6 stitches in his dick, which resulted in an inch-long scar. They say you never forget your first time, and he sure as fuck never will. Now, I've got to be honest, because this is a podcast and we're honest, and this is, you know, we wouldn't expect anything less on here.
Yeah.
Not that this has happened to me, but I proudly can say that I'm uncircumcised as well. I'm not circumcised. Yeah. And this this has happened to me a little bit, right? And I have a scar as well. Not to the point where I needed to go to the fucking hospital and have stitches. I just couldn't have sex for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Let's just say that in a gay relationship, you need lube.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you don't use enough, you have little accidents.
Yeah.
And so I totally understand that one. I totally understand that could happen. But this is a gay relationship.
Yeah.
So my advice to you would be use more lube if you don't want that to happen.
Lube is important.
Lube is important. Lube saves penises. Uncircumcised penises. It's fucking painful though, because no what's worse.
I can imagine.
Because even once you're a little bit healed and you started to heal, it only takes one rough session, and it can rip open again. So yeah, lube up, guys. Lube up. I think we've got one more. Oh no! Oh yeah, we do have one more. Similar story to one that we've just read, well, one of the previous ones. My boyfriend and I were having sex and he was on top of me. He leaned down so our stomachs were touching. Somehow the suction between our stomachs created this loud and embarrassing farting sound. Now we've been together almost 3 years, so we just have a really good laugh and went back to the sex. Now again, I wouldn't say that's really embarrassing. No. I mean, that's happened to me before. That happens in gay relationships and straight relationships. When your tummy hits, like, you make contact, especially
like
if you're sweating.
Sound.
Yeah, and if you're sweating and stuff, your tummy can make that noise. Actually, it's happened to me before, and we found it funny as well. And we kept trying. At that point, we forgot about the sex. We were like, let's make that noise again. That's so funny. And then you try and lean to do it again and again and again, and we couldn't do it. But I wouldn't necessarily say that's embarrassing.
No, I guess for the first time it's happened to you, like, these things could be like, oh.
I mean, I suppose if it was someone that you've not long met, it would be more fun. But these people have been together for 3 years now, so maybe that embarrassing farting sound brought them both together.
There we go.
Brought them both together. So
a match made in windy heaven.
A match made in windy heaven. Not quite the one where the fart ricocheted up the man's belly and into his face, but still funny noises.
Close enough.
During sex are fucking hilarious. Oh, once again, it's been an education.
It has been an education, yeah.
I do feel like, though, that we need some female
We do.
listeners to come and educate us a little
need,
bit.
yeah.
Because I don't know anything about menstruation or periods or female contraception. So, yeah, we need to get Jane on here to sort.
We do.
Tell us where we're going wrong.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the education is going to serve me well anymore anyway, but we're here for it. We're here for it.
Every day's a day to learn.
Anyway, let's end that one.
Yeah.
Let's end that one.
Okay.
We do love an embarrassing story.
Yes, we do.
Love an embarrassing story.
This whole podcast is based on some kind of...
just some kind of embarrassing moment
to
discuss our embarrassing lives and our embarrassing situations.
Maybe one day we'll look at these podcasts and be embarrassed.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. It's like at the time when you're like 10 years ago when you post this really stupid status on social media and you think it's great, and then you get a 10-year reminder, you think, oh my God, what the fuck was I saying? So what's going to happen with this podcast? We're going to look back and think, what the fuck were we doing? But as always, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah,
if you would like to head over to our TikTok at
RBTW Official.
Please follow us and give us a like. Listen to some of the crazy videos and watch us make complete fool of ourselves. As always, we record these podcasts as well, and we do the little snippets of the best bits on TikTok for you to see. I'm not going to plug the fucking email because it does my heading. It's almost like a nemesis to me now, right? It's a nemesis to me now. But yes, please follow us on TikTok. And also, please, if you're listening on Spotify, to like our Spotify page, add us your favourites, give us a 5-star review, and hit that save button as well. So you get the podcast saved each week.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It makes such a big difference.
Yeah,
so
please
yes.
do. Yeah.
All wrapped up. Very embarrassed.
I think I passed the embarrassment. I'm past my embarrassment now.
Well,
if I'm not past it now, then I'm never going to be, am I?
Past it for now, but let's see what embarrassing moments we have this week, and we'll see everybody in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Laters.
Bye.